Good morning and welcome. It is well that you have come. I'm happy to be here with you this morning at Temple Buddhist Center's Sunday service. My name is Nicoya Helm, and we hope that our service this morning finds you and yours happy and healthy, But please know that if you are struggling in some way, that our hearts are open to you and your loved ones. And we hope that Temple Buddhist Center and all of our offerings here can be a source of refuge for you and your loved ones. We are excited to be able to celebrate in person, and we want to do so as safely as possible. Masks are recommended. Respect and tolerance are encouraged. We appreciate your part in helping to keep our whole Sangha safe and healthy. So we'll begin this morning with conscious breathing. We'll take a few moments to ground, to experience the body and breathe together. Conscious breathing is where we seal the mouth, breathe in fully through the nose, and then exhale, releasing slowly so that the exhale is longer than the inhale. Now, of course, please adapt this however you need to in a way that is right for you. So let's begin. Inviting in a nice, full in-breath. Pausing a moment, just feeling the fullness of the lungs, and then releasing slowly. And as you release, checking in with the body, being aware of what is present and alive for you right now. Feeling connected and grounded into the support of the earth's gravity. Another conscious breath together. Pausing a moment before releasing slowly, nourishing this precious human form. And as you release, see if you can mentally release any worry or concerns from the week, the energy of doing, going, being busy, and instead, just release into the energy of being. And a third conscious breath together. Pausing, and then as you release, let the release of the shoulders, the belly, and the chest bring you even more fully into this precious present moment, arriving completely in the here and the now. Here at Temple Buddhist Center, we like to begin our service with a chant. Chanting is an integral part of every tradition. It's not about being a singer. It's about having a voice and bringing our voices together collectively in spiritual community. Today's chant is Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekkha. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekkha. And these words celebrate what are sometimes called the divine abodes, the Brahma Viharas. And these represent wholesome states of mind that reflect our true selves, our Buddha nature. Metta is what we often call loving kindness. It's sometimes translated as goodwill. Karuna is compassion. Mudita is sympathetic joy. This is the type of joy that naturally arises when we understand that a win for one is a win for all. And finally, upekkha, or equanimity. And equanimity is not to be confused with indifference. Equanimity is instead a true, stable freedom that does not falter or waver in the winds of change and transience. It is a stability and peace that comes independent of external conditions. So I invite you to chant these with me today, and I'll invite Christina to tone us in. Metta karuna mudita upekkha. Metta karuna mudita upekkha. Metta Metta karuna mudita upeka. 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 One more time. Metta karuna mudita upeka. We want to welcome you again, whether you are joining us here in person or through the magic internet waves. And we welcome you to this service and hope that you'll take part in whatever way is suitable for you this morning. Here at Temple Buddhist Center, we practice Western Buddhism. It's a blend of Eastern philosophy and Western psychology. And this new and exciting form of spirituality is dynamic. It's inclusive, it's active and growing, and it focuses on core Buddhist insights, meditation, mindfulness, and their practical application to our daily lives. Our goal here is not to get everyone to agree on one specific lineage or doctrine. Rather, it's on cultivating a shared experience of mindfulness, oneness, and love. And so whether we are chanting, meditating, or sharing from the heart, we respect that you will participate in a way that feels comfortable for you. Here at TBC, we take refuge, we find sustenance in the three jewels of Buddhism. And these are acknowledged as core values of the awakened mind. These are the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And so the Buddha reflects not just the historical figure of the Buddha, but the Buddha nature that resides within each of us, not just ourselves, but in all beings. And this Buddha nature allows a fresh perspective on each and every new moment. Second, we have the Dharma, or the wisdom teachings. These are the teachings that help us contact and realize more fully our Buddha nature, or the true nature of who we are. And last, but absolutely not least, is Sangha, or spiritual community. And this is where we come together and share and support every step along the way of our spiritual journey. So as we begin to move into our time of meditation this morning, we invite you to take a moment to silence any electronic devices. If you're joining from the internet, from your home, maybe turn off notifications, get that last sip of your favorite morning beverage, one more pet to that furry companion animal to calm them down, and just prepare for a meditative environment. We'll begin by chanting the prayer of refuge, which celebrates the three jewels of Buddhism. And we'll recite this together 3 times. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened. Through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom, for the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. As we enter this morning's meditation, if you already have an extensive practice, then I invite you to begin practicing in a way that is fitting for you. If you are new to meditation, then we will begin with an opening dedication. We'll sound the bell 3 times, and then Victor will offer a brief guidance intended to help us more fully settle and awaken into 12 to 15 minutes of noble silence. So let's begin by taking another conscious breath together. Body, speech, and mind in perfect oneness, I send my heart along with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness, transcend the path of anxiety and sorrow, and realize the true nature of who they are.
And so as the sound of the bell recedes, showing us the way, guiding us into stillness, if you need to make an adjustment for the form, for the body, or perhaps take another conscious breath, whatever you need to do to help the form to become more gentle, more light, at ease. We bring our awareness to the rise and the fall of the tummy as the air inhales, and as we exhale, the tummy rises and falls, and this can be a point of reference for us. Our connection to the breath. The breath is always in the present moment. No such thing as a past breath or a future breath. There's only this one. And so connected to the breath, the body is spacious, easy, and light. No contracted muscles. The forehead is relaxed, the eyebrows are unfurrowed, the shoulders are relaxed and gentle. And from here, we can bring our awareness to awareness itself. Becoming aware of when the mind notices a sound, perhaps in the room or outside in the hall or somewhere outside of this room. And when you notice that the mind has been distracted by a sound, lovingly and gently, we just come back to the breath. You might become aware of when the mind has been distracted by a sensation, like an itch or a tummy rumble. When you notice that the mind has gone there, again, lovingly, we just come back to the breath with no judgment, no story, no commentary. We just return to the breath again and again. You might become aware that the mind has been distracted by a thought. The thoughts come and go, rise and fall, completely unbidden. They're like clouds that pass by or cars on the street outside. When your awareness becomes aware that the mind has been distracted by a thought or two or three, then we just lovingly come back to the breath. Every return to the breath is a celebration of awakening. And so connected to the breath, the body is gentle and light. The mind is clear, yet receptive. And the heart is open. We can move more deeply into the stillness, into our meditation. I close my eyes and I see clearly. I stop trying to listen and I hear truth. I am silent, yet my heart sings. I seek no contact and find union. I am still and move forward. I am gentle and need no strength. I am humble and remain whole, returning again and again to the breath, returning again and again home. So I invite you to remain in a meditative state as you bring your awareness to the sense door of sound, noticing the sound of my voice or the sound of the air handlers or noises in the hall. And as you become aware of the sense door of sound, at the same time, can you maintain 5% of your awareness on the stillness and silence within? Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of touch as you notice the feeling of your clothing upon your skin, or the feeling of the chair or the cushion beneath you. And as you become aware of form and matter, can you maintain 5% of your awareness on that which is formless? Awareness of awareness. Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of sight as you slowly begin to open your eyes, allowing in a little bit of light, just letting the images come to you. And as you become aware of things and objects, at the same time, can you keep 5% of your awareness on the space around them, the space in and through the objects, in this room, around the building? And next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the breath as we take a conscious breath together. And as you release, become present in the here and the now, in this time and this place. Thank you, Nicoya. Good morning, everybody. Just a quick reminder that there are cough drops and tissues and blankets and hearing devices back at the rear of the meditation hall, should anyone need those. And of course, I also want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Solstice, Happy Hanukkah. Let's see, I think maybe I could sum it all up by just saying Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Stis. I think I got them all. It's nice to be with everybody this morning, and I hope that you have all been enjoying the holiday season, the season of lights, so to speak. And as we look at the myriad displays of lights on trees and on homes, in parks, sometimes on adorning people even, or animals. I've seen a few of those as well. The lights of the plaza even, everywhere. All the many colors, sizes, and shapes of lamps and bulbs, and yet only one light, one source of light. All the great teachers and all the great teachings remind us of this in every way, shape, and form. Even the Buddha's final instructions were to be a light unto yourself. And yet, when we try to see this light, this innate goodness that we talk about in our refuge prayer, When we try to see this, when we look for it, we find darkness because the eye cannot see itself. A flashlight can illuminate everything except for itself. It cannot shine the light on itself. And so the invitation today is that to see this light, it is not a doing. It is not a doing that reveals our luminosity, but it is a way of being. If you try to see the light, that is when we try to see the light, when we are looking for it, then there is darkness. And that is because ignorance, because the ego is trying to define it, to describe it, to figure out where the light is and when it will be shining. And so the ego mind tries to do all of this. And of course, all of this implies that you are not, even now, in this moment, as bright as the sun. Rumi says, the universe and the light of the stars come through me, as they do us all. So then, how can we realize our light? How do we emerge from the fixations of self-absorption that ensure a certain blindness? The simple core practice of Buddhism is to sit and face what comes with courage and equanimity. We return to the breath. We return to full presence, facing our patterns as they arise. We can then let them go back to emptiness from which they came from. After all, the repetitive reactions that have formed such deep grooves in our consciousness are based on outmoded strategies for self-protection. And fixating upon those, we think that's who we are. But our true self, our true light, needs no protection, for it is not subject to birth and death. It is unlimited. It is beyond conception and intellect. It is our inner light, and only when we awaken to our inner light can we be fully present to another person's inner light. And our practice opens us up then for sacred perception. Sacred perception, a new way of seeing. We begin to see through the eyes of the divine instead of the eyes of the form. As my teacher used to put it, we see the world as we are, not as it is. And this is what our practice calls us to do. First, we turn awareness inward so that we can see the nature of mind and know the truth of who we really are. And then we turn our awareness outward so that we can see the light in others. As Thomas Merton wrote, the saints are what they are, not because their sanctity makes them admirable to others, but because it is possible for them to admire that in everybody else. And you know this to be true because you have only to recall when someone in your life made you feel respect, made you feel honored, made you feel loved. Take a moment. and allow an image to come to mind, someone that represents for you that unconditional love, that person that made you feel respected, honored for exactly who you are. No judgments, no stories that they have concocted about you. Who see you for your pure light. And then as you form that image in your mind's eye and perhaps recall a moment, it may even have been in the past couple days, then allow what is in your mind to be released and stay with what you feel in your heart. There is your core star. And this is our vow, to be fully present to a so-called other person whose concerns are fiercely real and important, whether or not our minds agree with it. Let me restate that. To be present with another whose concerns are fiercely real and important, whether or not our minds are in agreement. You see, the inner light that I'm talking about, our innate goodness, is beyond perspective or view. It is beyond preference or condition. When we bring respect and honor to those around us, we open a channel to their own goodness. When they experience someone who respects and values them, it gives them the ability to admire themselves, to accept and acknowledge the good inside of them. When we see what is holy and sacred in another, whether we meet them in our family, our community, at a business meeting, in class, passing by in the hallways or at the mall, we transform their hearts. And each time we meet another human being and honor their dignity, we help them to open and transform, and their hearts resonate with ours in exactly the same way that the strings of an unplucked violin will begin to resonate with the sounds of a violin being played nearby. Western psychology has documented this phenomenon of mood contagion, or limbic resonance, they call it. And if a person filled with panic or hatred walks into a room, we feel it immediately. And unless we are very mindful, that person's negative state can begin to overtake us. And in the same way, when a joyfully expressive person walks into a room, we can feel that state as well. And when we see the goodness of those before us, the dignity in them resonates with our admiration and respect. Do you see how this is all interconnected? We first bring our practice to the awareness of what is arising within us. And as we begin to reveal and become aware of and used to our own light, we cannot help but see the light in others. in those around us, because it is the same light. 1,000 lamps and 1,000 homes knock on one door, and there is only one who will answer. This is where we find our light, so much brighter than all the thousands and thousands of lights that adorn the plaza. Every Christmas light you look at is a reminder of our own luminescence. To see the world with sacred perception does not mean that we ignore the need for development, for our dedication to the practice, to change and transformation in an individual. Sacred perception is one half of a paradox. Zen Master Suzuki remarked to a disciple once that you are perfect exactly as you are, and yet there is still room for improvement. Buddhist psychology offers us meditations, cognitive strategies, ethical trainings, which form a very powerful set of practices that foster our inner transformation, our ability to cultivate sacred perception so that we can then realize our light. And in realizing our light, we realize the light of all beings in all places. And it starts with a most radical vision, one that transforms everyone that it meets, every person that it touches, a recognition of the innate goodness in everyone, a recognition of the innate nobility and the freedom of the human heart. All of these available wherever we are, wherever we go, at any moment. The Buddha said you have everything you need to wake up right here and right now. And I want to close with the final lines from the inaugural poem by Amanda Gorman. In every known nook of the world, in every corner of our country, our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light. If only we are brave enough to see it. If only we are brave enough to be it.
I invite you to just take a moment to let the teachings arrive fully into your mind and body. And I often describe this process of embodying the teachings like a flower receiving drops from a gentle rain shower. The flowers don't chase the rain or try to think of which drops would be the most appropriate to receive. They just open and let what falls on them be what nourishes them. So taking a conscious breath, if that feels appropriate, to just Really bring those in, however you need them, whatever you need to hear from the teachings this morning. We'll begin to move into our metta, or our loving kindness practice. And remembering back to the start of service that this is one of the Brahma Vihara practices, the divine abodes, meaning wholesome resting places for the mind and body. These are often called heart practices, which means that they're not a head practice. It's not just a rote recitation of words. It is a full sensory, a full mind-body experience. And so to invite and encourage tapping into that experience, I offer you some options for mudras, or hand positions. You may wish to bring one or both hands to the heart as a way of beginning to physically embody the sense of goodwill by offering it to yourself through touch. Or perhaps a fist over the heart and then another hand on top of that fist can provide a wonderful sense of grounded stability to the heart. You may wish to gently hold one hand in the other in a sense of tender and soothing touch to yourself. And of course, you can always just rest your hands gently in your lap. And so taking a moment to breathe in consciously into the heart area. Using the power of imagination, you may imagine that fresh, nourishing breath feeds that light of innate goodness within you. And that throughout this practice, you can draw on that breath to grow that light in your heart. And as you release your breath, you can always imagine that light growing, even if it's just a faint ember, continuing to nourish that ember and let that light grow and grow. And with this embodied feeling and this visual sense, I encourage you to bring to mind a full body image of yourself, perhaps as a child. It's often easier to give ourselves tenderness and kindness if we imagine ourselves as a child. And in the inner ear, hear these words as you send goodwill to yourself. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be safe from inner and outer dangers. May I be well in body and mind. May I be at ease and happy. Drawing in another conscious breath, seeing that light, that ember spark and spread, and then releasing, imagining that light spreading out to the image of a person with whom you have an easy relationship. Someone it's easy to imagine smiling at. And hearing these words and imagining them being carried out through the light and the breath. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at ease and happy. A conscious breath in, more nourishment, a spreading of the light of goodwill as you bring to mind someone you don't know well, perhaps someone you've seen here in this room, in your neighborhood, someone you pass in the hallway or on the street, the mail carrier, the clerk at the grocery store. Offer them these wishes for goodwill. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be free from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at ease and happy. Another conscious breath in, opening the heart, allowing the inner light of goodwill to shine even brighter as you bring to mind someone with whom you have a challenging relationship, perhaps not the most challenging. And as you bring them to mind, remember that if you were truly at ease and happy, and if they were truly at ease and happy, this challenge would likely disappear. And so a wish for their well-being is truly a wish for the well-being of all. So tenderly offer them these wishes. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at ease and happy. Drawing in another conscious breath and imagining that it helps spread and expand that light within your heart so that it spreads and encompasses your whole body, and perhaps even spreads to shine on everyone in the room around you, everyone in the building where you are. Every time you breathe in and breathe out, that light expands and spreads to cover this whole city and all the beings that it contains. This whole state. This whole country. This whole hemisphere. This whole globe that we call Earth, and all the beings known and unknown who dwell upon it. And letting that light even expand beyond the earth into all universes and onto all beings, lighting the way into places and into hearts known and unknown. We offer these wishes. May we all be filled with loving kindness. May we all be safe from inner and outer dangers. May we all be well in body and mind. May we all be at ease and happy. Another conscious breath in. And when you're ready, open your eyes and smile. And as we move into the closing of our service, if you are able to, I do invite you to stay after for just a few brief announcements, a lot coming up as we move towards the transition from the old year to the new. In the true spirit of dana, which is the word for the Buddhist practice of generosity, Sunday services here at Temple are given freely. In the same way, if you choose to give, please give with a generous heart, not in return for something that you have received, but so that anyone who may seek refuge may find it here in this place with these teachings. Dana boxes are located on the lower level at the back of the hall, and you can also give online at the templebuddhistcenter.com website. I want to give a warm thank you to all of our wonderful volunteers who give generously of their time and energy. Eric, the wizard of the airwaves, who connects us to everyone joining from home. Liz, our digital diva, who keeps us present and alive on social media. Rob, who helps us with slides, and Dave, who helps us with setup and takedown. Matt Roth, our enthusiastic morning greeter. And of course, a special thanks to Christine, who brings wonderful ambiance and presence with us each morning. And special thanks to Victor for sharing his wisdom and presence with us so freely and so generously. And thank you to all of you who may be interested in volunteering. We promise if you have signed up on the sheet to be a volunteer at any point in the last few weeks, we will be getting in touch with you. We have this wonderful problem where Temple Buddhist Center is growing, and we're trying to respond to that. And so we will be reaching out to volunteers as quickly as we're able to. And if you would like to volunteer, we encourage you to sign up on their sheet or go to our form on the Temple Buddhist Center website, and you can connect with us that way. We do also want to give an extra special thanks for our TBC ambassadors who give electronically on a monthly basis. It's not about the amount. It's just that regular giving helps us plan a budget and keep a steady flow to services here at TBC. You can become an ambassador by texting the words Unity Temple to 77977 or go to the templebuddhistcenter.com website. And so with that, let us prepare now to close with the Bodhicitta dedication, which we'll recite together one time. May the pure, brilliant sun of Bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. And with our hands together in front of our hearts, let us go forth from this place, entering each moment in innocence, guided by the wisdom of our hearts. So we open our hands and open our eyes. We shine our light out into the world. Namaste. So again, deep gratitude for your presence here, whether it's remotely or in person. And just a few announcements. First of all, we do have a retreat coming up. It's a 4-day virtual retreat online from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., 5 p.m. on the last day. And please know that the joy of a virtual retreat is that there are no Vipassana meditation police who are going to come check if you can only attend part of the retreat. We welcome your presence at whatever level you're able to join. And that will be starting this Wednesday. Registration is available at the TBC website. So we encourage you to make that a part of your holiday season if it's possible for you. Today, after service, we have the post-service discussion, which meets at 10:15, both online and just down the hallway in the Heritage Room. And that's a time of community and Sangha for discussion on the Dharma teachings that we've heard and just the practice together. So it's a wonderful time of fellowship. Coming up in January, we'll be starting off the Sunday service with our ever popular fire puja, or burning bowl ceremony. So please look for details on that and guidelines for suggestions for how you can participate remotely from home in that wonderful, wonderful service, which will be on Sunday, January 2nd. Also on Sunday, January 2nd, we have a new and growing group for young adults here at the temple called Wake Up. So I encourage you to check into that. Rob Haggard is coordinating that, and information is on the website. We do have a mental health first aid class coming up, which I'll be teaching on January 11th and 13th. That just like you would take a first aid course and get certified in medical first aid, this is a certificate course that teaches you how to responsibly support and connect someone who may be having a mental health or a substance use challenge with the support that they need. So if you have any questions about that, I'm available to answer those. And we have a contemplative movement workshop also coming up. If sitting still, it doesn't always work the best for everyone. Moving meditation is absolutely a time-honored tradition, and so we invite you to look into that contemplative movement workshop on January 11th. We also have lots of recovery opportunities to join in recovery groups if that's a support that you connect with. We have our B12 group every Sunday at 12:30, also online and in the Heritage Room. And then on Thursdays, we have Recovery Dharma with Dave Owens, and it's at 7 p.m. So with that, Victor, anything that I've left off the list? Lots happening, lots to look forward to and get involved in. Yes, yes. Like I said, great problem to have to be so busy. It's great. And of course, Victor and I are always available, especially if it's your first time here, you have any questions about anything, we would be more than happy to help answer them to the best of our ability, or just to chat. So thank you again for your presence. Be well.